I'd much rather not have a fire in the truck, and having plastic surrounded by all this, I feel like would cause a fire. I was having problems with my headlights where one was dimmer than the other, or they wouldn't work at all. You'd have to jiggle the switch around to get it to work. And I was actually having problems where I was turning the headlights on and it was shorting other things out. So finally I pulled the plug and unplugged it, which obviously it has a bad headlight switch. And I just went and got a new one. But this is what our connector looks like. As you can tell, that melted. So now we have a new one. And for those wondering how to replace these, you do need to pull the dash out because you have to take this screw off right here. Okay, so this is the state you will find the switch in, except for it'll be inside of here. And this will be sticking out the front of this cover. Okay, so everyone knows you can't pull this knob out right here. It's stuck on, you can't twist it off, nothing like that. And the only way to get this switch out is to pull this off, and you can't pull this off without getting the knob off. Well, the resolution is you got to reach up down behind there, and there's a button right here on the bottom of the switch, and you can't get to it. You got to push this and pull out on that, which is, I can't really do it and hold the camera, but let's see. Okay, so I just did it. It pulls out like that. Okay, so then this will still be in there. So now you can unbolt this and take it off. And you'll find this screw, you'll find this black piece on the panel. So then you I took a big Phillips head and just unscrewed it. You could probably use like a flathead or something. And then unscrew it by hand, and then it'll drop out from below and you'll unplug it. So from what I've heard, to fix these plugs melting and these frying is to put a relay system on the headlight so it doesn't pull the load into the truck. And I did hear that the relays will actually help the brightness of the headlights. So I know a lot of people have this problem, so I figured I'd just kind of go through it. This is just recording this off my phone just real quick because I'm trying to get the truck done. I'm supposed to be driving this to work tomorrow, and it is currently 6 o'clock. So I got a little bit of work to do. So getting right to this in, and this should be the fix for everything. And this is how I wired it, because this is pretty much trash, this connector is. And all this does is organize the connectors, so this doesn't really serve any purpose other than holding all of them in place. And personally, I think I would rather not have this in there, because if this is something that occurs, I'd much rather not have a fire in the truck, and having plastic surrounded by all this, I feel like would cause a fire. So this is how I have it ran now. And what I did was I just cut each one, and as I cut each one, I put it where it goes on the switch so that you can't really lose position or track. And I took plenty of pictures from the back side of it, so that I knew. But this is pretty much what you're going to be dealing with. Obviously this has to come out for you to put it in first. I haven't got to test, oh wait, that might be why it's not working. I forgot to plug that in. But I haven't got to test to see if that's fixed it or not yet. I'll find out here in a little bit, I guess. Causing literally every problem I was having with the truck. So I'll give you an idea of the problems it was causing. So the ones I already mentioned were, so I would turn the lights on and then random stuff would stop working. My anteater would lose signal. Some of my gauges would stop working. And then on top of that, the headlights, one headlight was super dim and the other one was normal. And then the turn signal lights would glow. And then the truck also, I noticed, started idling really low, and I just could not figure out why. It just randomly decided to start idling low. So I was gonna adjust the idle up or whatever, Well, after doing all this stuff, the idle went back to normal. So my guess is these wires were shorting out, and it was pulling from the alternator, causing the truck to kind of power down because it was pulling so much power from the alternator. So that would be my guess for why that was causing it. So like I said, I just cut this connector is just prone for problems, I think. So fixed that, and our brake issue. Let me talk about that. We were having a problem where our rear brakes were not working whatsoever, and as ashamed I am to say it, they've been like that for probably at least a year, maybe 2 years. Ever since I put the second gen rear axle in my truck, the rear brakes haven't worked. I didn't know that whole time they didn't work. I did find out a while back that they didn't work when I had it on jack stands and I put it in gear and hit the brake and noticed that the rear wheels did not stop. So that's another reason why the front control arm, I think, snapped in half when I had a truck and trailer. I was hauling a truck and trailer and the front control arm snapped in half. And I think it's because only the front brakes were working, so it's putting so much pressure and torque on those front brakes and front control arms and everything. You have to think all that weight was being stopped by just the front two wheels. And the brakes on those trucks aren't that good to begin with, and the suspension's not that good. So that explains why I snapped a control arm. That was probably like a year and a half ago, maybe more, when that happened. But now that problem is fixed. So what was happening was, apparently when I swapped the second gen rear axle in, I did not bleed the brakes all the way or good enough, or B, did not bleed the ABS actuator in the back. There's actually a bleeder valve. It's just like the bleeder valves that are on your calipers or whatever else. There's actually a bleeder valve on the side of that. You need to bleed that. What I did was I gravity bled all the brakes. I've been noticing lately that's like a really good way to get air out. I gravity bled them for probably about 2.5 hours, and then bled them, like pump bled them, and then gravity bled them again, and then pump bled them again. And finally, oh, and I had to adjust the rear drums. They were not touching the drum apparently. So that's probably another reason why they weren't working. But now the brakes are great. Like, I've never experienced brakes this good. It's actually like makes me so happy, because like that was probably one of the biggest things I hated about driving that truck was the brakes were so bad. And then the other thing I hated was like all the electrical problems I was having. But honestly, it seems, knock on wood, it seems like we've fixed all of our electrical issues. I drove it around, and I mean, everything seemed to be working good. Everything's charging good, no shorts, nothing's cutting out or on. All the gauges that should be working are working. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. We need to get a couple light bulbs because we have a couple bulbs out, and then we do need to wire up our license plate light. That's one other thing. I do want to get some of this stuff done because I don't want to get pulled over for something that stupid, and get in trouble for, you know, something that I could have prevented. So definitely pretty happy about figuring out all of that stuff. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, just, you know, message me or comment below. My Instagram's at slzuncut, or even on Facebook Messenger, or whatever you guys prefer. I'm open to answer any questions, because I was honestly puzzled as well until today. And, you know, really it comes down to, if I would have just took the time to look over everything, I probably would have found this all out a long time ago. But, you know, it is what it is. You get busy, you get sidetracked, and I was mostly just excited to drive the truck, so you guys can't blame me. I am mad about one thing. Kicked brake fluid all over my other hood without a hood stack. So hopefully the paint doesn't peel up. But I was walking, actually kicked this, and it literally spilled all over the hood. Which leads me into my next thing. I think I'm going to put a bed stack in the truck just to try something different. I've never had a bed stack before. The hood stack is cool. It is so sweet. It's badass. And the truck breathes really good with it. But I cannot stand how loud it is. I love how loud, like, okay, I love and hate it. Like, it sounds sweet, and sometimes I enjoy how loud it is. But when I'm just trying to cruise the truck, which I do way more cruising with it than I do romping on it, you know, I really want this truck to be driver friendly. So I can't even have a conversation in it. I can't listen to music in it. Nothing. Like, it's that loud. It's just overwhelmingly loud. So, you know, I like a loud truck, but not so loud that I literally can't do anything inside of it. So I'm going to try a bed stack. I think it'll be just loud enough. If I had a single cab, it'd probably be the same loudness, but with me having a club cab, I think I'll be fine as far as the how loud it is. I doubt I'll be doing that anytime soon, considering I have to refab up a downpipe for the stack, considering we used our downpipe for the hood stack. We cut it up and used it for that. We also need to get my hitch on. There's lots of things we need to do. We might have to get that hitch cut down and customized to fit with the roll pan, but that'll be it for this. I don't know if this is going to be a whole video by itself or just this portion of the video, but I'll see you guys in the next clip if so, and if I don't see you in the next clip, I'll see you in the next video. See you guys later.